I don't care. I don't care, George. Hey, look at me. This is where champions are made. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
Nothing matters now. Hit him with your groin.
MMA is a serious, violent sport. So is boxing. It is definitely not for laughs. But every once in a while, just like in life, there are moments that would knock you off your feet and make you laugh so hard. These men and women are one of the strongest people here on earth, body-wise speaking. So when they slip off even a bit, spectators would end up cracking and laughing. Well, don't all we need a moment or two of a break from seriousness? Here are the 10 funniest moments in MMA and boxing. By the way, make sure to click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all our engaging videos, and use that trigger finger by smashing that like button. Now, let's get into it. First, we have Khalib Starnes and Nate Quarry fight. UFC 83, when Khalib Starnes fought Nate Quarry, is considered one of the worst fights in UFC history. Well, aside from the worst, it is hilarious as well, because Starnes evidently showed up to do anything and everything else, running away from Quarry the entire fight and refusing to engage. Whenever there was an engagement, Starnes got the hell out of there, wanting nothing to do with it. What's worse and hilarious about it is it was something akin to bad performance art, an exercise in fascinating disappointment. It was a one-sided fight, ultimately the kind of flushable offense that you forget about as soon as it's over. It was like Starnes doesn't have an inch of a clue on why he's in the ring. And Quarry made it even more memorable because deep into the third round, he began doing a running man dance, which broke the tension in the room. Even the crowd mimics Quarry's frustration and sentiments. Then, as the 10-second warning claps sent up, he did something he calls the rock hammer, which was a mock maneuver in which he entwined his arms, covered his face with one hand, and pumped blind, meek punches in Starnes' direction. Still, consistently, Starnes merely peeled around the cage and didn't return fire. Funny enough, there is a story behind this match. Quarry wants to fight with Starnes because the latter won against one of Quarry's pals and training partners. Starnes kept on declining the offer until they had an interaction and one thing led to another, resulting in this funny fight. Starnes effectively ended his UFC career that night for refusing to engage, and it was one of the strangest, most baffling visuals in the Zuffa arena. Next on the list is Heath Herring versus Yoshihiro Nako. As Heath Herring and Yoshihiro Nako met in the center of the ring on New Year's Eve, the pre-fight stare-down began. This is an important part of the fight drama, a final opportunity to either offer your opponent respect or to measure his power against yours. Nako stepped in as if to intimidate, then he, surprise, sweetly kissed Herring on the mouth. And who would like it? As a counterattack, after Herring recovered from the shock, he unleashed his rage with a tiny punch against Nako's chin. Nako went out cold, probably more from a broken heart than a rattled skull, resulting in a KO, and mind you, the official match hasn't even started yet. And we also have Mark Coleman. When Coleman won the 2000 Pride GP, he legitimately freaked out and started running around the ring like a madman. However, a misguided attempt to jump onto the ropes led to him falling flat on his back in a hilarious moment. Just imagine how happy and victorious he felt that night. The Pride Grand Prix 2000 finals took place at the Tokyo Dome tonight. Some of the biggest names in the sport had qualified for the final 8 of this open-weight tournament, after successfully navigating the opening round in January. Mark Coleman and Igor Vovchanchin met in the final. The former UFC heavyweight champion was going up against the multiple-time IFC and AFC tournament winner. The odds were clearly in Mark's favor. The next fighter celebrated way too early for his victory. Diego Sanchez, formerly known as Nightmare, has had a few instances where he has drunk a bit too much and made himself look bad. The best was on the first season of Tough, where he was so drunk he was unable to stand and had to be helped to bed by Kenny Florian, among others. He wasn't helped when Josh Koscheck told him the aliens are coming, causing Diego to thrash around on his bed and start moaning in fear. MMA fighters are known to be tough, cool, and serious, but Matt Riddle begs to differ. This might be a hidden gem, but Riddle might be the funniest fighter to ever appear on Tough. He always has a smile on his face, and he pulls off some ridiculous pranks, including putting a glob of shaving cream on the head of a sleeping Rampage Jackson. But his best moment can only be seen on the deleted scenes of the DVD, where he breaks eggs all over Jeremy May's bed, causing May to interrogate the entire house, while a drunken Riddle follows him around and offers his advice. So, we therefore conclude that these tough guys know the word fun. Who said running is not included in the list of counterattacks? Forrest Griffin was supposed to be one of the toughest fight of Anderson Silva's UFC career, and was a significant step up in competition, compared to Silva's previous opponent at 205, James Irvin. But Silva ran through the former Ultimate Fighter winner and knocked him out with ease, causing Griffin to get up and run out of the octagon after the fight. Sometimes, it is that easy to win. All these fighters have one thing in common. They are all dominant in nature. So when Randy Couture spanks Tito Ortiz, the spectators' reactions were hilarious. Tito Ortiz was the most dominant fighter in the UFC for a while, but Randy Couture showed up at UFC 44 and showed him who was boss. While dominating the fight, Randy took time to give Tito a little bit of a spanking, and hopefully said something along the lines of, "Who's your daddy?" when he did it. This is one of the reasons why it is so entertaining to watch these people fight. Everyone wants to win, and no one wants to go home crying. 8th on the list is the fight between Georges St-Pierre and Thiago Alves. UFC 100 was the biggest event in UFC history to that point, and the co-main event between St-Pierre and Alves was a main attraction on the card. GSP was dominating the action, but in round 3 he tore his groin while grappling with Alves. When he came back to his corner and told coach Greg Jackson, Jackson came back with the now infamous, "Hit him with your groin, George." What a classy comeback. Aside from physical strength, these fighters know the best how to win in verbal wars. Second to the last is when Dan Henderson destroyed Michael Bisping. Well, not quite literally. When these two were coaches opposite each other on The Ultimate Fighter Season 9, Bisping did a lot of talking to try and get under Henderson's skin. Henderson repeatedly said he would finish things in the octagon, and he did just that, landing a brutal right hand and giving us one of the most iconic pictures in MMA history. And he was true to his words. Lastly, these fighters would do anything to win. Anything. Just like when James Chaney tries biting his way out of a submission. Desperate guys will go to desperate measures to avoid a loss in a high-pressure situation. However, it's rare for a technique to be thrown out the window in exchange for some chewing of the opposition. On Season 16 of The Ultimate Fighter, crazy James Chaney used his already awkward-looking mouth to chow down on opponent John Manley's ribcage. Manley locked in a guillotine choke that Chaney simply couldn't escape, and clearly, this way out is not recommended. What do you think about these funniest moments in MMA? Let us know in the comments section below, and hey, if you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so we continue giving you the best content. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.